Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. This is Michael Angel with CDSoundMaster, CDSoundMaster.com. So in this video, I'm going to be covering a product overview on R2R, Reel-to-Reel, the Essential Analog Tape Collection. So I'm actually going to include a link to the manual in this video's description for you. In a separate video, I'm going to cover each individual machine and go a little more in depth about each machine. This video is just a product overview to give you a basic idea of what all is going on with R2R and what's included. So R2R, Reel-to-Reel, includes the Studer A800 MK3 2-inch 24-track. The manual was created before I chose to add the Studer A820 2-track to the collection at no extra charge. It includes the Otari MTR10 1/4-inch mastering tape machine, the Revox B77, the Akai 4000 DS MK2, the Sony TC640, the Lafayette Radio RK142, and the Wallensack 1515. Now, at the time, there were very few tape collections when we first began creating this. And the question was whether to have the moving reels as part of the graphics, or whether that would be too gimmicky and people would think that it was a hokey thing, and plus it could use extra CPU. So I decided to focus just on the visuals of the VU meters and the knobs and the buttons and the lights and the stuff, with everybody understanding that the reels were, part of the mechanism, but not something that we were going to use a lot of the visual space for. So in retrospect, I still like that decision. I personally love the idea of the moving reels, but the thing that I want to give as a point of distinction is these are not just preamp programs. These are actually recorded to tape to get the sound of the electronics, tubes or solid state, and the actual movement of the tape at the different speeds, whether it's 7.5 or 15 IPS inches per second or 30 inches per second. So we also have the different tape formulas that are included, which gives you hundreds of different combinations for your sound palette. We have Ampex 499, Ampex Quantigy 456, ATR, Scotch 206, Maxell UD 3590, Maxell UD XL 3590B, Scotch 290, Sony PR150. Each of the plugins have a separate input, output, and bypass and over controls. So something important to understand is the input knob is where you're controlling all of the entire signal chain's analog characteristics, meaning that when you turn the volume down, you're decreasing the harmonics. And if there's any change to the frequency spectrum at that range of what the machine represents, that will go down and up with the input as well. So you'll want to also be careful if you have a loud signal, not to increase from the input level too much unless you know what the drive is going to do to the signal. Now, the drive button itself is used to independently control the amount of harmonic distortion that you are hearing from the unit. I personally tend to leave the drive or harmonic distortion at 12 o'clock, the position that I've already intentionally edited the program to respond with. And then if I need to change controls, I'll tend to boost or cut from the input and then do the opposite for the output, so that I'm adjusting the volume the way that I want. But I like actually adjusting the frequency and harmonics together the way that the machine actually works. But you have total flexibility if you want to disconnect the way that the harmonics run from the actual drive from the input signal, if you wish to. But the output volume is your digital volume control, meaning that it is not adjusting any of the analog characteristics that are coming through the signal. It is just digitally controlling loudness, louder and quieter. So you can fine tune everything from drive to the input to your actual source recording, and then just simply adjust the output to taste, or obviously you can just use the track in your digital audio workstation to do so. Clearly, bypass is to bypass the signal. It will let your normal sound through. It's not a mute. but it will turn the analog effect off. The over indicator will let you know if your signal is going too loud, in the simplest of terms. Harmonic distortion and input drive can both affect going over. So I recommend keeping an eye on your levels. You always want to leave plenty of headroom not to go digital over, because that's no longer accurate once you've done so. The VU meters will move with the music, but they are a little bit more of an aesthetic, something that's pleasant to look at, as opposed to your extremely precise metering. So enjoy them, use them, they will help, but they will tend to be slow for some things and will tend to aftershoot on some things. So you're going to want to rely on your DAW and your regular visualization for extremely important dynamic information. They are really more there to hearken to the unit itself aesthetically, and not to give you a great deal of dimensional, dynamic, fast response. So here we have the Lafayette, and here's our input, our output, our drive. Love that. And you can always, in Reaper, you can use Control and then click on the button or the knob, and it will return it to your 12 o'clock position. So on the Lafayette, here is your bypass. That's how you know that you're bypassing the unit. And I'll just visually give you an over here. And there's your over indicator. Same thing on the Wallensack. Here's your drive, your input signal, and then there's your over right there. If you want to bypass the unit, click the tube glow indicator over here. There's your bypass. Here's the Akai. You have your input, your output, your drive. This is your over indicator. You can see that turn on there. And here's your bypass. Just click right there. Here's your Sony machine. We'll see the over. There we go. Here's your drive knob up there. And here's your bypass. The wonderful, amazing B77 Revox. There's your bypass right there. And we'll show, there's your over indicator right there. Here's the amazing Otari MTR10. Here's your input, your output. You see your over indicators right there. There's your drive. And then just click right there to bypass. The amazing Studer A800 MK3. Record level. So record level is your input, just so you know. And here's our over indicator right there. Just looks so perfect. Looks so real there. Love it. And there's our drive right there. And you just click on bypass to bypass right there. And you'll see something familiar here. This is the addition to the collection, the Stu A820. And everything is the same as what you saw on the A800, with the exception of, instead of having to choose the individual DLLs, they're all selectable right here. So you're choosing 6 different program options, and you have the 7.5 inch, 15 inch, and 30 inch tape speeds. And all you do is click these buttons, wait until the bypass comes back out, and now it's loaded. Boom, 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 boom. There it is, loaded. And you have NAB and CCIR for your different equalizations. And there you have it. There's your basic product overview to show you what's included in the R2R Reel-to-Reel Essential Analog Tape Collection. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye.